Buenos dias, amigos. Good morning, my friends. From a very hot and sunny, a too hot Asunción. We've made it to the capital of Paraguay. This mysterious country which apparently nobody visits. And apparently this city here, Asunción, is deemed as South America's most boring capital. So, we're here for a bit under a week, and yeah, let's see whether it's true. Let's see whether this boring reputation of Asunción is overblown, or whether you should avoid this city, whether it's not worth your visit. I can tell you one thing. First impressions, I've arrived yesterday. It's super cheap. It looks a bit rough. Check it out. I'm here in a very central location of Asunción. My hostel is about 15 minutes walking from the historical center, and this is where we are heading to now. Let's explore Asunción's historic center and see what it's like. What is the capital of South America's least visited country like? Vamos! Now, I've been told by the people that work in my hostel that at the moment there's literally nobody in the streets, that the streets are always quite calm because it's too hot, especially now in January at time of recording, and because January is like the hottest month of the year here in Paraguay, in Asunción, and there's many people have left town. It's like holiday season and headed out of town because it's just unbearably hot here. And I just cannot imagine that a 2 million people city has nothing going on, you know, which is why we're checking out the historic center of town right now. Because if something is going on, it is in the historic center, I reckon. It's just too hot. You've got more cars on the streets than people. Another very interesting fact about Paraguay, guys, is that Paraguay is the most homogeneous country in South America. As such, nearly all the people have the same heritage. Quite the contrast from Brazil, the most mixed nation ever. Well, here in Paraguay, like basically the entire population is of both Guarani and Spanish descent. The Guarani, the indigenous people that populated Paraguay before the Spanish conquistadores came, like, yeah, all the Guarani women ended up having children with Spanish conquistador men, which then became the modern Paraguayans. If you look at Argentina, Chile, Brazil, of course, many other people, many immigrants from Europe, Asia, populated the country, and of course many African slaves that the conquistadors brought with them, especially in Brazil. But here in Paraguay that was never the case, which is why this nation is so unique and homogeneous, they call it. Selfie time. Right, new subscriber.
Paraguay. Algo en guaraní querés que te diga.
Come to Paraguay.
Impona Paraguay.
I've been taught some Paraguayan slang here to say cape for good friends. Cape. This is my cape.
Cape.
So who says that the streets of Paraguay are empty?
Está el cape. Es el famoso. acá te vas a ir derecho y vas a cruzar la plaza. Y ahí
Ah, sí, acá ya es la plaza del Panteo.
el panteón de la anime.
Ah, ok. Francisco, Capo. Capo. Right, that was Francisco from Asunción. We've reached... Oh, lo siento. Not the friendliest drivers here in Paraguay. So now we've reached, like, the Santa, you know, the park. Central Square here, one of the most visited places, one of the most popular places to come to for visitors here in Asunción. Hola, buen día. Morning. Good English. So yeah, friendly people, as always. And we're in this park now.
Hey, how you doing?
Bien, ¿y tú? Muy bien. Mate.
Paraguay, mate.
Sí, eso es el mate frío, ¿no?
Mate frío.
So, Argentinians watching. Now, look away, Argentinians. In Argentina and in Uruguay, they drink their mate warm, you know, like hot. They drink hot mate, but here they drink cold mate.
¿Quieres probar?
Ya probé ayer, pero es muy rico. Voy a tomar.
Prueba.
Es solo mate.
Solo mate frío.
So this is, here in Paraguay, they drink cold mate, which is typically Paraguayan. Muy rico, muy refrescante. Very refreshing. Gracias.
You like it?
Gracias, yeah, I like it. Gracias, Cape.
Suerte, amigo, suerte.
Suerte. Buen
Que
día.
disfrute.
Sí, claro. So guys, we've had our first taste of Paraguayan specialty, cold mate. It's too hot here in Paraguay, it's always so hot that people only drink cold mate, cold tea basically. Mate is delicious, by the way, both hot and cold. But here in Paraguay you can't drink any hot drinks. Just impossible. Aburrido or no? Right next, right across the park, we've got the National Bank of Paraguay. Check it out. And the plaza here in front of the bank, yeah, seems pretty dead, to say the least. The Plaza de la Democracia. Not much going on here. But the entire city seems to be full of these squares, these little plazas to chill out. But the only crowded one is this. Seems to be the most popular spot. I guess it offers the most shadow. Right guys, before we continue the exploration of Asunción, I'll need something refreshing, and I found this place here. They're selling like refreshing drinks, refreshing juices. Seems to be quite a popular thing here, so let's try it out. Some Paraguayan fruit juice. You'd also got acai here. One very good thing about Asunción, which I can tell you already, is that the city is offering free Wi-Fi. Free Wi-Fi, I mean, I've not been to many places where that was the case actually. Where you got free Wi-Fi in the centre of the city, just like that. Pretty cool. So well done, Paraguay. Right guys, I've received my fruit juice. It's basically a melon juice and it's pretty good. Gracias. Pretty refreshing, exactly what we need with these temperatures. This sweating heat here, this staunching heat, and yeah, I'm now heading further towards the coast and the historic centre. But so far, I'm positively surprised by the city because I was told that there was literally nothing going on during the day, that all of the people were staying at home because it's too hot, but there were some people about though. Loads of people actually. So yeah, not as bad as they say so far. I mean, look at that. Look at this. This is just right next to the beautiful park area where we've just been, with all the squares and all the people hanging out. I've got to admit to you guys that the city so far, looking at the state of some buildings and some streets, looks a bit rough. It looks like one of the roughest places I've seen so far in Latin America. And I reckon not the safest place to hang out at night. It's the center. As I always say, it's always the same thing in Latin America. The center of major cities is always kind of dodgy at night. And it's the same here. I really cannot explain why that is. Because the nightlife area, the place where people are going out, is like 20 minutes away by Uber from the center. It's kind of a mixture of beautiful city, beautiful typical colonial city, and a bit rough around the edges. And right ahead of us, I don't know if my camera picks it up or not, is the Paraguay River, which is also a border. Just like Ciudad del Este, where we've come from, this city here, Asunción, the capital of Paraguay, actually borders, it's right next to the border with Argentina. On the other side of that river, I don't know whether that already is Argentina or not, you can tell me in the comments, but on the other side of the river is Argentina, basically. So that river, the Paraguay River, which you can see there in the distance, is separating Paraguay from Argentina. Lugar histórico de la Fundación de Asunción. So this is where Asunción was founded. The historical place where Asunción was founded. So an important historical place here for the nation of Paraguay. Small nation, loads of history. And they've got their own language. Kind of reminds me of my little country. So, this right ahead of us, guys, looks like a typical picture of Asunción. I mean, old colonial building full of Paraguayan flags, and right behind it a rotten modern building. Whereas when I see some of these buildings, oh, and here we can enter the park, by the way. But when I see some of these buildings, I can understand why people say why not so many people come here. Oh wow, quite the contrast, isn't it, from the park we've just come from. What is this? Nobody around, no one to be seen, and it is the Plaza de Armas. Yes, it's the Plaza de Armas, which typically in Latin America is always like a very important square, like the most important square of the city. But here, this is Asunción's Plaza de Armas. Remember, guys, when we were in Cusco, how the Plaza de Armas looked like? Or in any other city in Latin America we've been to. But here, this is the historical place where Paraguay was founded. So this is the place where Paraguay was founded, historically. So one of Paraguay's most important, if not the most important and most patriotic square. And yeah, doesn't look that impressive, innit? Right next to the border bridge. From here, I hope my camera picks it up, you can see the border bridge up in the distance. which separates Paraguay from Argentina. This tree, or whatever it is commemorating the foundation of Paraguay. Up in the distance, guys, right ahead of us, behind this favela, obviously there's a favela right ahead of us, and behind the favela you can see the river, the Paraguay River, which separates Paraguay from Argentina. And over there in the distance, I don't think my camera picks it up, we can see the bridge, the border bridge, which leads into Argentina from here. So, Paraguay, a very interesting country. One of the only countries in South America alongside Bolivia without a coast. And basically the two major cities of the country are border town cities. Even the capital here, Asunción, with 2 million people, right next to the border with Argentina. What a place. And this looks rough, guys. This place here looks quite rough. Kind of reminds me of the sound of Lima. Sorry to all you Paraguayans watching, but so far not the most impressive of capital cities I've been to. But yeah, we won't give up. We won't judge Asunción just yet. We'll continue. Maybe we'll find something pretty still. The beautiful Independence Square of Asunción, Paraguay. What a place. What a place, guys. And then you've got these rough buildings everywhere, these rough, rotten buildings everywhere. I gotta tell you guys though that so far it looks like the roughest place I've been to on this trip. Speaking for this area of the city, we're here for a few more days. We'll explore another area of the city as well. Today we're exploring the touristic side of Asunción. I want to find out, for you guys watching, whether it's worth coming here or not. Because everyone tells me, not really. Which, if people tell me that the place is boring and has nothing to offer, then I'm even more tempted to check it out. So today we're about to find out whether tourism in Asunción is worth it. So far, we've seen some good places, but some rough places as well. And they're all quite close to each other, right next to each other. I mean, check this out, guys. Wowzers. And this, guys, this rotten building, this rotten apartment building. And, wow, look at the building right next to it. It's right next to the Independence Square. And I mean, we've seen the state of the Independence Square, haven't we? And right ahead of us, guys, is the Palacio, the governmental palace, the most important building of the country. So, these buildings are right next to the governmental palace, the governmental building. Crazy to think about, actually. Right, guys, right across this rough looking street we've got the presidential palace of Paraguay. Check it out. Looks beautiful, innit? kind of crazy to think that right next, that the presidential palace here is surrounded by basically, yeah, all of this roughness. I can see what people mean. Right next to the presidential building, the presidential palace, we've got this small park here, looking at the river, the Paraguay River, which is separating Paraguay from Argentina. It's a pretty hot day, as you can tell, super sweaty. We have to go for a beer, a Paraguayan beer. We need to try some Paraguayan beer. I didn't have any yet, so I've got to do that. But yes, guys, over here in the distance we can see Paraguay, and right there across the river is Argentina. Not the prettiest place to spend your holiday at, Asunción, but not as bad as I thought it would be. It's not a place where you should come for a week or something, but it's still got its good places, you know. It's rough. It's a mixture of roughness and prettiness. I mean, you can't say nothing against the presidential palace, for instance. Beautiful building. Also, you can't say nothing against the people. The people are lovely. As everywhere in Latin America, the people are lovely. So, is Asunción worth coming to? Is it worth visiting? I'll let you be the judge for that in the comments. Tell me in the comments. Would you come here to Asunción? Would you visit this place? Right, because I'm now sitting down here at a place to have some lunch, and before I do so, I got myself an ice cold Paraguayan beer. It's called Pilsen. Pilsen, like the one up in Peru, which is also called Pilsen, but this one, yeah, looks a bit more Paraguayan with the Paraguayan flag and everything. So let's try it out, an ice cold Pilsen to finish the day. Cheers! Cheers to Paraguay and cheers to Asunción. Might not be everyone's favorite city, not too much going on, not too many things to do, and it's flipping hot as well, but yeah, I've seen worse. So cheers. It's good, I like it. Pretty tasty. Best thing about Asunción so far. Delicious beer. Saludos. Salud a Asunción y a Paraguay. I'll see you guys in the next one. From here, from Asunción, Paraguay. Still got a few days left here. And there'll be more from here. Today, we've explored the historic center of town. The most touristic place of town. And I've barely seen any tourists. And yeah. In the next video, we'll be exploring a different side of Asunción. A more bustling one. Apparently. And a very interesting one. Apparently a very hectic one as well. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios amigos. Hasta luego. Right guys, another example of the beauty of Asunción. The roughness of Asunción. All of these rotten buildings such as these are all over the center of the city, right next to the governmental building, the government institutions, the parliament, right next to places such as this. Well, I can understand that this city has not got loads of tourists. And I'm leaving it up to you guys to judge whether you would come here or not. I personally know whether I'll be back or not. But yes, I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's give Asunción another chance. Adios. From probably the roughest capital city of South America.